All right, guys, we are going to talk a little jerkbait fishing. I'm gonna share with y'all a little trick that I don't know, I've never really heard talked about, but it's what I do with a deep diving jerkbait. Okay, so a little backstory on this, right? This is a Strike King DD 300, right? So it's a deep dive 300. I can get it to 10 to 12 foot on a really, really long cast. You can get it super deep. I've got it down to like 17 foot if I get on the right wind and everything and drift, and I just keep working. I mean, it'll get down there if you keep working it. So, got it on my Gold Custom Pro. Was out there the other day, and I was throwing them, and I was catching fish. I was catching fish like crazy. So I didn't start off with a jerkbait. I actually was out there cranking around. I hadn't been out there in a while, and I was cranking around and started catching some on a crankbait. Now I caught a couple, 2 or 3.
Is it a big one? Not a bad one.
And I was going, man, I don't know, it just felt like it should be better. I was like, let's throw my jerkbait. I already had one tied on, and so I was throwing this one right here.
Ivan, just because, and you know what? There's a good chance I don't even have my jerkbait in here. Might have to take it out. No, I got it in there. Oh, and I got one tied on already. I like that color. That color will work. All right, guys. Fall jerkbaiting.
So I get out there and I start catching them, and it's awesome. Like it's great. They're on this creek channel bend. They're on like 2 or 3 creek channel bends. They're in the middle of the creek. They'll get up on the edges, and they were chasing bait. And then they'd get up. There was a little bit of like straggly looking grass. Like they really weren't worried about the grass, but I was kind of just going up and down this creek channel and then finding where the bends were. There was like 2 or 3 bends, and I was catching them, and it was phenomenal. And I sat out there for, I don't know, an hour and a half catching them. So there were a lot of fish, don't get me wrong. But if anybody's ever been fishing like that and you think, oh man, it's never gonna stop, it starts getting hard. So it started getting harder for me. And I was going, okay. And at first I was just throwing at schools of fish. And I wasn't even live scoping to begin with. I was just throwing out there and just catching fish.
There to them. Yeah, they saw it. There we go. Like that. But here, see on the screen, that's the only problem. Like you'll catch one, you never know how, and they all freaking come. Look at them, like there's one with it. So that happened earlier.
Eventually started kind of like live scoping around, targeting little sections and groups of fish. There was shad in the area. There was fish, chasing those shads. So they'd all of a sudden come underneath the boat, and be out there, and they were moving pretty fast. Here's a group of shad right there underneath the boat. You can see the fish underneath it. It's a pretty cool shot. I wanted to show y'all. They were really active after those schools of shad. And I wanted to show that and catch it on camera for y'all and show y'all what it looked like and what I was doing. All right, so when I first get here, this is kind of what it looks like. So that's the middle of the screen is the channel. Okay, so there'd be bait in there. If you see there's fish on top of the bait, there's fish on the break of the channel. There's a group coming in, and then there's actually fish in the bottom of the channel too. And so, like I said, you can see I'm just throwing this jerk bait, and it's stupid. This is right when I first get there. I mean, look at it. You can see what I'm dealing with. Like, I'm catching a lot of fish through here. Those fish out there, 70, 80, and 90, that's a school of fish too. So like I said, a lot of times when you pull up on these places, and there's me throwing a jerk bait, like, see, it's crazy. But when you first pull up on these places, it's good like this, and you catch them. That's why I said I wasn't even live scoping when I first got here. I was just throwing out there because there were so many fish. Okay, so that's what I was dealing with at first. Here's the thing though, towards the end, like I said, I started trying to target bigger fish, and I started trying to target different groups of fish because they get keen. Like you catch 40, 50 fish on a jerkbait in an area, they're gonna start getting harder to catch. So here's my trick. And it works. I was doing it while I was fishing, but I just wanted to show y'all what I actually do sometimes with this jerkbait. It's nothing special. It's just when we think jerkbait fishing, we think suspended fish, and we're trying to catch a fish off the bottom. The last clip I show you, you can see those fish aren't on the bottom. You can see my jerkbait come in at 70, and those fish all come up off the bottom, right? Okay. And I end up catching one, right? That's me reeling it in, another fish trying to follow it. So I mean, that's the typical way we catch jerkbait fish, and how we fish for them is that way. And there's nothing wrong with that. But here's the trick. Okay, and so I caught plenty of fish like that. Here's another group. Okay, once again, they're right on the edge of the channel. Right out there at 80 foot is the channel. You'll see it here a lot better in just a second. Okay, there they all go. So they're off the bottom, but they're in the middle of that channel. And you'll see that jerkbait come into play. Like I said, see the shad and the baitfish are actually underneath them. They're on top of it. I just wanted to share with you all that. That's pretty cool. Normally you see it the other way around. And then here comes my jerkbait, and you start seeing them all come up there. Like, they leave those shad and look at them all come.
You freaking smashed that thing. That's a decent one. Now you hit it hard though. Good chunk though. Look what color this is. It's one of my favorite colors. It's got this like, it's got like a little pro blue top. It's almost clear, but it's not. But it's not matte, right? I mean, it's just got this little sparkle. I don't know, man. I catch them on this color a lot.
A lot of times when they get hard, they'll suck down to the bottom, and they don't want to chase as much. Like you're catching the active fish when they're coming up like that. So I was like, man, I'm just going to get my jerkbait down there, and I get it down there almost basically on bottom. And it's weird. Like, I don't think a lot of people, they'll see that jerkbait and be like, oh, it's going to hit the bottom or something like that. And I'm like, I can kind of, depending on where I put my rod tip, I can get it right where it's about to hit the bottom. And then kind of, instead of jerking it straight down, I can jerk it to the side. I can jerk it a little up, and I can keep it, but I can keep it like a foot from the bottom.
It's a long cast in the wind. I got this freaking gold one. Let's see here. I can throw a pretty good ways with it. Where is it?
All right, so you can see there's my jerkbait, and it's getting like they're following it right, not eating it. And look, I'll get it really close to the bottom. I know it's kind of hard because there's a lot of fish in there, but you can see it right at 40 foot, and boom, I catch one.
Look at that. Every time. That's why I said that. Not that one. And they're bigger on this flat, like when they get up there shallower. Nice one.
And I don't know what it is. I catch a lot of big fish that way, fish that don't want to commit. It's like on their level, and they stay with it, and it's on the bottom. And like I said, it's almost like a crankbait, but it's not a crankbait, right? And they were biting a crankbait earlier a little bit, but I think it was that pause. Like I couldn't get that pause on that crankbait to look like a jerkbait. So you get it down there to them, I crush fish on it. So here it is again. Like I said, you notice how all the fish now are on the bottom. Okay, so there's my jerkbait, and a couple of them come look at it. And they're kind of following it, right? And they're following it. So look, I'll get it right there, right on bottom. Almost where you can't even see my jerkbait anymore. And they'll follow it. And they'll follow it, boom, and then I'll catch one. All right, so that was my day. Smashed on them on this DD300. There's a lot of talk out there. I'm going to make the video. I'm probably going to do another video about how many fish I caught on this jerkbait. And I'm curious as to why other guys throw a lot of other jerkbaits. This has been catching fish for 20 years. It seems to be catching fish. So it's got me wondering. I'm going to do a video about that. I got a question I got to ask everyone. But right there, like I said, check out any of this stuff. Tackle Warehouse. I'll leave links in the description. All right. See you guys.